So to get things started, let's take a look at the study's context. The purpose of this section of the paper is to explain why we decided to write this problem in the first place. We chose this topic for a reason, and our background reflects that. Vandalism is harmful for a number of reasons, so we've outlined those in our chosen topic. As a result, we still have a better understanding of the issue we're trying to draw attention to.
So let's talk about the statement of the problem for this paper. So this problem statement gives an outline of the topic that will be covered in the paper, as well as its background and who it will influence. It also needs to be used to describe our study's objectives. This statement of the problem will also outline the negative aspects of the current scenario and why they are important. And it also identifies the way we propose to enhance the current condition and bring it closer to the desired goal. So our statement of the problem is the study aims to determine a study of problems that may help contribute solutions and possible approaches to a subject. Hence, the researcher has tried to investigate the problem of vandalism and its destructive impact on the society. Even though vandalism is not a major crime, it is important to have strategies in place to deal with it. As a result, the researcher has attempted to explore the issue of vandalism and its negative consequences in the society. So the goal of this study is to understand more about the crime of vandalism in the public spaces in today's society. Specifically, the paper aimed the following objectives. Number 1. What are the factors that contribute to the cause of vandalism in the community? Number 2. What are the possible destructive effects of vandalism in the society? And number 3. What are the probable consequences and penalties for those who commit vandalism? These objectives specify strategies and implementation steps to attain this goal. Thus, it highlights how we plan to address this problem.
Vandalism is the intentional or malicious destruction or defacement of public-private property. It includes acts such as shattering windows, cutting tires, and ruining a computer system with a computer virus. It is a crime and one of the common crimes in our country. A handy pick this article as it shows the relatively of the paper we're conducting right now. According to one of my research, high school kids are more likely to commit vandalism than college students or working adults. Graffiti is typically viewed as an art form rather than a criminal offense by the younger generation. One of the examples when a youth group defaced Manila Lagos Nilad underpass in protest of martial law in Mindanao. And based on my research, vandalism has a protection law against it. It was the Anti-Vandalism Act of 2009 or Senate Bill number 3042, which refers to the imposes penalties on vandals. Depending on the nature of the violation, fines and penalty range from 5 to 10,000 plus up to 1 year in prison.
For the methodology, this study uses descriptive quality-quantitative design wherein the point of this study is to evaluate and analyze to pinpoint the problem which is causing people to vandalize. Especially the descriptive survey method is used. Out of the other courses, the illustrative process is the most suited and convenient for the topic because describing, illustrating, and validating research results are the three crucial descriptive studies that will make the study flow easier. It is used where potential participants are hard to find. It's called snowball sampling because once you are able to ball rolling, it picks up more along the way and becomes larger and larger. Snowball sampling is a non-probability sampling method. It doesn't have the probability involved, say a sample random sampling. Instead, the researchers use their judgment to select participants. The questionnaire, as also research instrument, were designed to gather enough information to satisfy the study objectives before they answer the survey questions. There is a concept letter that is responded agree to the participants in the data collection and use their answer opinion for the research study. During the data collection, the researchers must thoroughly explain the purpose of the research and its benefits. For a week, since the data gathering will be complete, some of the students have their tasks to do, so their answers might be also take long, and that the research continues to approach them and remind them of the deadline. After analyzing the respondents' information and use Excel for translating it manually, it is best to quickly calculate all data without wasting time and energy quickly when analyzing data. When solving this kind of equation, it is vital to find because it plays an essential part. Further discussion regarding this topic is what would happen if you solve the problem. The researcher can then measure all the items and answers and mean, median, range, and standard deviation to find the norm in the equation's data.
The main purpose of our presentation is to be able to provide the audience with the information about vandalism. And curiosity is what motivates us because we're interested about this kind of topic that we're studying, and we want to understand more about vandalism in depth.
First, in order to assist the community in finding a solution to the problem that we currently face, these papers serve as a means of informing them. The fact that we're dealing with this issue right here in our own neighborhood motivates us to create this.
The purpose of this study is to know the cause of why people are vandalizing and how can we prevent it in the end of this study. This motivates us to know the reason why people vandalize because we can see many vandalized writings in public places and also in private.
The main purpose of this study is to give awareness and knowledge about how vandalism can affect our environment. Our motivation for doing this paper is to help and prevent our community from vandalism.
Vandalism is a crime, and it is one of the most commonly committed crimes in the Philippines. And such problems like this must be addressed because they might harm or destroy things that we need or care about.
We begin to identify the roots and cause of the vandalism in our communities and the intentions behind those who commit such horrendous acts. We gather this information from various sources on the internet as well as from the members of our own community.
Like was said in the first question, it motivates us to do this study because vandalism is often seen in our surroundings.
This study can assist people in the society in developing their ability and potential to address this kind of problem in their community.
Because of proper stability and control brought by about this society could be transformed into a new one.
This will contribute to the community as a guide when people vandalize and to help to make a solution to prevent vandalism.
The limitations that we saw is the outcome of these papers, lack of information. We decide to conduct surveys and interviews in order to provide a reliable source of information for our paper.
Educate the public, particularly young people, on the consequences of vandalism. Implement formal monitoring and make a connection with our local police department who will gladly collaborate with us to protect our community from vandalism.
This will be accomplished by talking about the problems and then taking action to address them. This is what I suggest as a way to reduce the depth of the problem we are currently dealing with.
The recommendation is to notify the authorities to install secure perimeter fencing that allows for surveillance, monitor vandalism-prone areas regularly, and work to enact mandatory clean-up regulations for the community.